Hi guys, how's it going? Chris here once again. Now, in this video, in fact I've said this before and I'll say it again, you guys know I'm not the best artist in the world, alright? And I know that. But over the years I've been practicing, some of my artwork has improved over time, and these hints and tips I just want to pass on to you guys to hopefully try and improve your, basically how you draw things. So we're going to be looking at like anime style heads and stuff. And we're just going to jump straight into it really, because I don't want a massive long intro. Now, what I've been doing recently is, first off, you need to work out how you're. I know a lot of people start off with a circle. Nothing wrong with that, but we can actually start with the eyes. Now the eyes, before we do the main piece, one really cool way and easy way which I've remembered to do is you're just going to want a semicircle, like so. Now you're going to have the circle of the eye, the iris and the pupil. Now you can have this basically anywhere which starts above this semicircle, or you can have it completely below. So for example, I'm going to do it where it only just starts to arch down, like that. Alright. So there are a couple of other methods. So again, start with your semicircle, and then you can maybe start with your semicircle up. Usually that relates to them looking upwards into a corner somewhere. Final one is more of a shocked style, and literally the circle goes, but then you can see the entire circle below the semicircle. Alright, so you've got half circle, 3/4 circle, and then a full circle. And you're going to want to play about with these. You'll eventually find, once you start reacting with like noses and mouths and stuff like that, you will start to see how they work between themselves. Yeah. So we're going to use one of my favourites is this one here, which is just more so a general average eye expression. So we're going to start somewhere in the middle of the screen, in the middle of the paperwork, and we are going to have our semicircle. Okay, now this will be one of the eyes. So again, we're in a 3/4 circle, like so, and then you just add a little bit of a lower eyelid beneath it like that. Now we will be replicating this on the other side shortly, but before we do, I just want to go through these. So that is your main edge of the eye, not the eyelid. You're going to want to draw a very fine semicircle above that, which will act as the actual affect the eyelid itself going around the eyeball, and then the eyebrow will go somewhere over the top shortly but surely. Now in the pupil, in the iris and that, I always find it's cool to have like a glare, like a little bit of sunlight bouncing off, and I think if you look at any anime pieces you will notice that this has them too. So I usually just put a little circle in the corner like that. This circle can go literally anywhere within this bigger circle, it's entirely up to you. Then you're going to want the pupil. So obviously I just do it. It looks a bit funny, it looks a bit weird at first, but you can just do that. Obviously some anime designs actually have bigger pupils, so again, mess around with that. And then for the iris, you can actually be really creative with the iris. So as what I've started doing is you just create a little fuzzy effect around the pupil, but you don't go over that little circle, the little highlighter thing there. And then when you come to colouring this in, you just use the same colour pencil, and you colour in darker around the outer circle, and then you just carefully and a lot more gentlier, you just fade it in ever so gently to that. So that is the general aspects of the eye. If you want to add a little bit more detail, you'll notice that you can add a little triangle to the edge of the eye. So if on the other eye, it'll be over here somewhere. And then just add a couple of effects onto the bottom eyelid. So again, you can just tinker about with this. If you want some eyelashes, you can just chuck a couple of eyelashes, like so. Now, we're going to want an imaginary bridge nose. Nose bridge. So we're going to pretend that if you kind of imagine how the nose on your face works, you kind of got like a little arch in between. If you put your finger between your two eyes, you can feel that little arch. And then what you're going to want to do is just basically try and duplicate this onto the other side. Now, sometimes if your character's winking, or you know, if they're a bit strange, you can actually have like a closed expression. But we're just going to do a basic design. So you want to try and copy the big semicircle like we did before. You want to try and get the same arch and the same length, like that. Alright. And then you can, if you want to, you can actually add the little pointy bit down now if you wanted to, and the eyelashes. They don't have to be done in the order I originally did it in, but we want to focus on the pupil and the eye. So we're going to do a three-quarter circle once again. And you're going to want to try and get these as symmetrical as possible. That's the advantage of digital drawing. You can just copy and paste an eye onto the other side. Now, wherever this little bit of glare was what you drew, make sure you draw it in the exact same place on the other eyeball. Alright? And then you're going to want, obviously, you're going to want the same size pupil and the same design iris. So I'm just going to do a little fuzzy effect like that, which we'll colour in later. Then we're going to be upper eyelid, so I'll try and get this as close to the original semicircle as possible. And then just a little bit, obviously you've got your lower eyelid like that. Right, now this is where your nose comes into play. There's loads of different ways you can do noses. Now you need to try and think, if you put your finger on the inside of your, on top of your arch and then run it across this semicircle there, you can kind of get a feel how to shape it. Now you're going to want to know if you want a detailed nose, in which you're going to kind of come down and draw out the entire nose, or if you're just going for a more traditional like anime style, you can literally just draw like an upside down number 7, like that. I always remember that technique from years and years ago when I first started. You can do an upside down number 7, but obviously there's nothing stopping you from fleshing out this and having a proper nose piece. So you've got about 1.5 centimeters there gap between there. You're going to want just shy of the same distance between underneath the nose and the mouth. So we're just going to do a cute little, just a cute little smile. Nothing too bad. Sorry, nothing too expressive. Just a normal smile. Directly underneath your lips, you're going to want where your chin bulges out from. So if you put your finger on your bottom lip and go down, you will feel a little bulb where your chin is. So I just do an upside down, like a semicircle, like so. So we're getting there. Eyebrows. So you're going to want about, I usually start off with a couple of dots so that you kind of get a feel for the same size. Now eyebrows are obviously one of your biggest expressions as to how your character will give off. So you know, if you're going to be angry or relaxed or you know, shocked or something like that, the eyebrows play a really important role. We're just going to do some normal eyebrows. Now I'm going to rotate this because it's easy for me to do. And basically, a relaxed pose, I'm just going to follow the contour of the initial semicircle. So I'm literally just going to do that. Make it thicker on the inside and then have it fading out to the outside. So we're going to want about the same distance. So I'm going to mark it about there. So again, try and duplicate it as a mirror image as close as we can. Or if you want to, this is obviously entirely optional, we can just do, just add a little bit of line work underneath just to make it a little bit more, I can say like 3D. Now, we've got the eyes, the nose, the mouth. This is probably one of the trickiest parts now. I've kind of started drawing this a little bit too high up, so you kind of want to have your eyes in the middle of the paperwork when you do this. So your chin, we're gonna use a couple of reference points here now. So we have got where the eyebrow ends, go down to the edge of the eyes, and you've got a marker point there. Same on here. Then underneath the chin, like that. Now this is where it gets a little bit complicated. You're going to be drawing 2 sets of lines on each side of the face. and they're going to be at different angles. Now, starting from your chin, usually female characters have got a much more pointier chin than male characters. So male characters have got, you will just widen this little notch here, you will widen it out so it's all practically the same size as this little semicircle here. We're going to do a female character in this instance. So usually female characters are quite pointy and you won't need much of a rounded figure. It's like half the size of that chin semicircle there. Now you're going to want, like I said before, if you imagine, just cut off half of the image for now, and we're going to focus on the cheekbones for her right side of the face, or our left. So as it comes down to about, we're going to be drawing a line down this way and then a line across that way. Obviously this one is going to be sharper than what this one is as we start going up to the side of the face. So really we can just go up like that, somewhere about halfway, about there, so we can just see practice comes perfect. You will want to take a few points, a few sketches just to get your own feel for the design, and then as it comes down you just want to go into a sharper angle, like so. And then once you've got your design, once you're happy with something, you can just run back over it with a pencil. If you want to rub out that part, by all means you can just rub it out like that and split it back up. And this will be her cheekbone. Now you will want to do exactly the same thing on the other side of the head, so about halfway down. Now funny thing is, you need to try and capture the exact same angles as this. Obviously this is a head on design, face on design, so we're not going to be playing with it. If you're doing like a side on view, there's going to be a lot more angles and a lot more perspective to look at. So I'm going to try and copy what we've just done on the other side. So you bring it down one side and make it even more of an angle at the bottom here. And now we can really see the shape of the face coming on. While I'm at the bottom here, I will always throw in the neck. The neck is very easy to do. You literally just get a point halfway across, like that, or halfway up this lower line, should I say, and you just bring it in like that. Not exactly a straight line, just like a somewhat semicircle, a very weak semicircle like that. And then while I'm also down here, I will also add the shoulders. So I will just add two circles for shoulders. Again, you don't have to be anything professional, and then you just kind of contour around the shoulders like that. Now obviously you need to try and scale the shoulders with the head. Like for now, the shoulders look a little bit too small, but I'm not going to run too much into the shoulders for the time being. This is more of a head shot than anything else. Alright, so let's add a little collarbone as well. So we're moving back onto the head. I really should have left a bit more space at the top because I'm going to run out of space here. I'm not going to be able to show everything what I want. So where the arch of the nose is, where the top of our little nose is here, and in line with the distance to the eyebrows, you're going to want about the same size going up, and this will act as the forehead. So what we can actually do is just bring the sides of the head up ever so slightly angled, which will be the forehead, and then you just want to dome off the top. Now you will want another dome on top of that one. We'll come into that later. That's going to be the back of the head. And then we're going to start working on the hair. Now obviously with anime there's loads and loads of different styles of hairs, so you guys are going to have to go into if you want to find some kind of reference, by all means go and use the reference. You will find your own ways of doing hair, hair is a little bit tricky for me to do, and it's even harder for me to explain, so I'm just going to throw in some random shapes. Usually you can just throw in a couple of streaky lines like this. Now it will get quite messy, obviously, because you're going to go back over it again later with a fine line or something like that. And then when you get to the edge of the edge of the head, you kind of want to follow this upper dome, what we did earlier, and you will just bring it round like that. Obviously, there are loads of different ways of how you can do hairstyles. You know, there's hundreds of different ways, so you will start to find your own way of doing things. I just kind of go with the flow and just see where the pencil takes me. Obviously, this is all being done off the top of my head. I've had no pre-practice. That's why my voice is a little bit uncertain at times, because I'm trying to think of what to say and draw at the same time. So we've kind of got like an initial hairline here going on now. And then to give this a little bit more of a fringe, you can just follow where this line comes up on your, let's say, the right of every pointy piece of hair. You can just kind of do like an extra part at the top, which will kind of give off the impression that she has more of a fringe when it's just hair being sat on top. Okay. Yeah, it does, like I said, with every sketch we are gonna it is going to look really scruffy until we get a proper design down. If you want to make it a little bit more detailed, you can do the hair on the back. So I'm just going to do long back hair. So you're not actually going to see this because of these curly pieces coming down, but we're going to have it so hair is going straight to the back. And then I suppose one little cool thing that will feature what I normally add to my art is how some pieces of hair kind of come over the shoulders and down like that. Alright, so the video is already getting on for 20 minutes, and I've obviously kind of taken, I wasn't expecting anyone to get to the end of this video, but we're going to very quickly speed up this video now, and we're going to put some fine liner in. So all I'm going to do is going over all the main points. Obviously there's some bits we're not going to fill in, such as this side of the head here, because obviously the hair is in front of the face. So the same on that bit. Yeah, we can rub out these circles for the shoulders. At the moment we're not going to rub anything else, but we might just do that part of the eyebrow. That is a bit. And then anything in that little clump of hair can go. And so yeah, I'm going to speed up the video.